Hello everybody, hope you all are having another blessed day. And today I have for you guys my banlist prediction video for the June 2020 banlist. Now to start off, I don't think this is going to be really a typical banlist where a lot of meta decks get hit. Mainly because we are still in quarantine, and because we're in quarantine there hasn't been any locals, regionals, or YCS events where the Konami could get their data to kind of base their banlist off of. But they could surprise me, and they could still hit meta decks if they based off, I guess, Yugioh Pro and don't book results from those kind of custom-made tourneys, but I doubt they will. And I honestly think this banlist is going to be more of like helping some lot of like low-base decks get some support back to come stronger. I feel like that would be good for the game Yu-Gi-Oh right now, because since all we can really do is play online, I can just see Konami kind of be having a whole mood of saying, you know what, let's just give all these older decks that aren't doing anything back some power, and so everyone can have more fun with the decks. So I think this banlist is probably mostly going to be like. But there might be some surprises, I don't know. But again, this is my best prediction, and without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, for the one card I think is hopefully going to get banned, this is just a hope. It probably won't happen, but I hope it does. I hope Mystic Mine gets banned. Maybe because Mystic Mine is just way too good. Okay, every deck is using it as a special engine just to kind of just stop every other deck it's playing against. It's just way too good. It basically says your opponent can play Yu-Gi-Oh against it. I just don't like the card, because there shouldn't really be a card that, for more than just one turn, can just break your opponent's board. Because, yeah, we have Super Poly and evenly matched and stuff like that, but only stops you for one turn. Mystic Mine just stops you forever, basically. Unless you have a way to out Mystic Mine, you're going to lose the game for sure. So hopefully Mystic Mine either gets banned, or at least to 1. Next, I'm going to say Blaster is probably going to come back to 1, mainly because this is the next Drag Roller I think is the most fair in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Mainly because the only way it can be used, I guess, in Dragon Lanes, which is okay, but it wouldn't probably make it broken. And I guess Salamangreat is a good fire deck. But I just don't see Salamangreat using this card, mainly because the only good effect besides the special summon is only lets you destroy one card in the field, which I don't think is game breaking in today's regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Next is going to be Harpy's Feather Duster, which I could see hopefully coming to 1. Kind of be a good way to kind of out like those back row heavy decks like Elvlich or anyone that's playing the Salamangreat. But this card may not come back to 1 yet, because again, Light and Storm is still a kind of new card. And since it's a new card and it kind of has the same effect of Harpy's Feather Duster, I could see Konami kind of waiting to release this card off the ban list until they make even more money off of Light and Storm with probably future releases. So if it comes off, great. It'll probably shoot up in the market, but if it doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised. Next is Maxi, another card I honestly don't see it coming off the list. A lot of people say it can probably come back to 1, and it may come back to 1. But the only problem with this card at 1 is, again, people are going to complain about how someone only beat them because they drew to 1 Maxi, which was a common complaint when it was at 1 last time. And if it ever goes to 3, I just think it's way too good in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Because back when it was at 3, there wasn't just the whole plethora of hand traps like we have now. We have Infinite Permanence and Ash Blossoms galore now. And those both are at 3. This card for sure, when you activate it, is probably going to get you at least one of those cards. So it's basically going to guarantee you to have a negate against your opponent's turn. So I think it's still way too good in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So my hopes is that it stays banned, but if it comes back to 1, I guess I wouldn't be surprised, but I still hope it doesn't. Now to get into some support for some decks that are just not doing good right now, I can see Pantheism change on the ban list either 2 or 3, because again, Monarch's not doing anything. So again, during this time where decks should just have to play and play if I'm playing locals, I can see Konami releasing this back as kind of like some support to Monarch players. So Pantheism made it 2 or 3. Kind of saving with Seer. I know people probably want Graph back more, but I feel like Seer is less broken, because this one is basically just about summon a Burn Abyss from your graveyard and not from the deck like Graph does. So honestly, hopefully Seer comes back made it 2, maybe to 3 for Burn Abyss, because Burn Abyss does need more support because it's not doing anything in today's meta right now. But I could be surprised they could maybe get Seer and Graph back, which again would be great for Burn Abyss players. But most likely I can see Seer coming off first. Next is Skull Robot Joker, or how you say that's name. I can see this card coming to 1. Because this basically is kind of a similar card with, say, to Reinforcement of the Army for basically Pendulum players. Now, why I think this card could probably come to 1 now is honestly because we have so many hand traps. And a hand trap basically just stops this card in its tracks. So to help boost some Pendulum decks which are not doing the best right now, I feel like they could probably get Joker back. And again, we have hand traps now to stop this card. Tricks of Light Stage, it should probably go to free now. Because right now, Nightmare Mermaid is banned. Okay? So as long as Nightmare Mermaid is banned and we can't do the whole Orcus combo with that, Light Stage should come back to free. Only reason this card went to 1 was because of Nightmare Mermaid, and it's banned now. And now because Light Stage is at 1, Trickstars lost a lot of consistency, and you don't really see really anyone playing Trickstars now. So I feel like now would be honestly a good time just to have it come back to free. And if they somehow become meta, sure, we have no banners after the quarantine that can take care of that. But during this time where there's no like big events, I feel like a lot of times this to kind of experiment with decks and see if cards coming up to 2 or 3 on the ban list will kind of make the decks broken, or still keep them kind of balanced. So Light Stage should probably come back to free now. Hero Libs, I feel like we can probably follow an example of OCG. This card is at 2 in the OCG. And again, like I talked about with Light Stage, now it's just a time to experiment with a lot of decks, I feel like, during quarantine. So I feel like Konami could release this card at 2. We say it makes Heroes way too consistent. I don't think it would make it way too consistent, but it still will help the deck a lot. And right now, Heroes are not that bad. It's still probably like a tier 2 deck. So maybe this can push it maybe to 1.5. Still probably won't be a tier 1, but it could still make the deck a lot better if you put it at 2. So this card may come to 2 of the ban list. Masterpiece. Now, a lot of people already probably know I hate True Dracos with a strong passion. But again, True Dracos aren't really doing anything competitive-wise. Again, I could say it gets really annoying at locals event when we had them, because when you play True Draco players, you're going to run into a lot of floodgates. And no one likes to play against a floodgate-based deck. But again, against today's meta, True Draco doesn't really stand a chance if it goes second. And if at first, it's just got to pray for multiple floodgates. So giving True Draco's back Masterpiece, I guess, will kind of really strengthen the deck. And Masterpiece is a really, really good card. But again, as I talked about a lot of cards on this list, it's just the time to experiment. If Masterpiece at 1 is way too good and it kind of starts breaking the meta, then what? We got plenty of time until the next ban list, because we're probably not going to have the next ban list until probably after quarantine, hopefully. So by then, they can probably just fix the mistake if it's too good at 1. So right now, I think it'd be a good time to experiment if it's at 1. Necros Unicorn, again, Necros, it's just not doing anything, okay? This is really the only Necros card I feel like is still on the ban list, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like we can maybe push Necros to 2, or Unicorn to 2. So again, time to experiment, let's put it to 2. Now, Red Reboot, this is a card I honestly probably won't change on the ban list, but this is just my thoughts, because I feel like one of the best decks right now is Eldritch. And Eldritch plays a lot of basically trap cards. So my thoughts are that if you push this to through, this would be a really good hard counter to kind of nerf Eldritch right now. Because if you can get your Red Reboot to activate and go through against Eldritch, you basically just shut them off, stun them for the rest of the turn. So if you do that, you have a chance basically to OTK and win the game. But since it's not 1, this is way too inconsistent to draw, so a lot of people are not playing it right now. But at 3, I can see Red Reboot coming back to the side deck and maybe the main deck against Eldritch. And then we have Widow Anchor. Here's a card that I could see probably come to free, because now that Engage is banned, Skyscrapers are not doing anything. And honestly, I don't see really how Widow Anchor is really that broken for Skyscrapers. So all that you basically do is get to negate a card effect, monster effect, and maybe take it. Okay, so since Skyscrapers are not doing anything, and they will not do anything without Engage back to 1, I can see Skyscrapers getting Widow Anchor back to free. And will it change anything, Skyscrapers? Probably not. They're still not going to be good anymore. And then the other card I can see coming off the list before I get into the side deck, it's this Thunder Dragon Colossus. Thunder Dragons are basically completely dead right now. Yes, there's a whole Nemesis archetype that could basically just turbo out Thunder Dragon Colossus and stuff like that. But at 1, I don't see it being that oppressive, mainly because a lot of decks back when this card was at free, there was error to get through to 1 Dragon Colossus, but they had trouble getting through to multiple times, okay? So if it's just at 1, I feel like a lot of decks will still be able to handle just the 1 Colossus and be able to still beat the Thunder Dragon player. So I can see him coming back to 1. And then a lot like Masterpiece, if it comes too good, they still have plenty of time to ban if the next ban list after. The next cards I can see coming off the ban list, just kind of like surprises and stuff that can come off, because they're just not good in today's meta, so there's no reason to be on the ban list where they're at. So the first one is Archfiend. Archfiend, well, Infinities are not doing jack anything. So this card can come to free. Kind of same thing, not assailant. I know this card used to be an O card, used to have a lot of like game breaking potentials. But all this card lets you do is add a flip effect monster from your graveyard, basically to your hand. And the only reason I can see this card being a problem is maybe with Shaddolls, but I don't see it really doing anything in today's meta. So not assailant, it can probably come back to 2 or 3. Yugioh and Time Seal both have kind of the same effect. They let you skip your opponent's draw phase. But Yugioh is not good in today's meta because you have to basically invest your normal summon for Yugioh, and a lot of decks cannot afford to invest a normal summon into something like this. So because it has to waste a normal summon, it's terrible going second. Yugioh can come off the ban list to 1 at least. Same with Time Seal. Again, it's a trap card that you have to draw a set and act on your opponent's turn. And a lot of times, it's just wasting a card that can be really helpful in your deck. And honestly, skipping your opponent's draw phase, except I guess for those mill your opponent's whole hand decks, this would be a problem. But honestly, it can come back to 1. If it becomes a problem again, we can ban these cards before the next regional, most likely, because we'll probably be in quarantine still for quite a while. Next is Wall of Revealing Light, a card I can see it come to free. Because there's so much spell and trap negate that everyone's still playing because of Mystic Mine, I don't see this card being a problem. Everyone has side deck potential to destroy this card. Then we have Merging Teleport, which again would be a good experiment card. See if this comes broken at 2. I think it may be 2 in OCG. I may be mistaken. If I am, please leave a comment down below if I am. But at 2, I don't think it's going to really do anything because there's not really that many good targets for Merging Teleport, I think, right now in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So at 2, it'd be a good experiment. So let's put this into the experiment aisle. They can maybe bring this back as kind of a surprise. Final Countdown, I'm going to say can maybe come to free. But this is only if 1 card gets banned. Mystic Mine. The only reason Final Countdown is being played right now in any deck is with Mystic Mine. Because there's no way you'll get into 21 turns in Final Countdown. The only deck that gets 21 turns in the game, or any kind of duel, is someone who's played Mystic Mine. And most duels will probably get past 10 in nowadays. So if this card comes to free after Mystic Mine gets hit, I won't be surprised. Then, the beginning of the end, I wouldn't be surprised if the card comes to 1. Because a lot of things Konami likes to do is just limit generic draw cards. And this is extremely generic in any deck that plays Darks. As long as you have 7 more Darks in the graveyard, you can banish 5 on and you draw 3. Okay? So, maybe this card goes to 1. It probably won't, but that's kind of like my surprise card I'll put out there at 1. Then Dangalong, it won't do anything today's meta, I don't think, so it can come back to 1. Zen Mighty, yes, we still have Wind Up Hunter, but if we put this card at 1, I don't think we'll have the whole hand loop potential of it at 1. So Zen Mighty can come back to 1 and kind of boost Wind Up decks. And then the last 2, Micro Director, or Destructor, and Darkness Metal Dragon. These cards can maybe change on the ban list to free, depending if they get the errata for this next ban list. If they don't have the errata, they're going to have to stay where they are. But if this card becomes a hard once per turn, and I can't remember what this card errata is, but this kills the card, these cards can both probably come to free the next ban list if they have the erratas. So with that, those are my thoughts on the current ban list, and these are my ban list predictions. If you agree with me, or you have something different you think may get unbanned or banned in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, please leave us as a comment down below. I'd love to see your ideas. Now, like always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Because this helps me make more content for you. And like always, I hope the rest of your week is blessed. And I hope to see you all in the next video. See ya.